Okay.
Okay,
And then
so
this
see
one
this
lines
one?
here.
I gave you this one.
You didn't pull out it yet.
No, because
You didn't know who it was.
safe to say it's her name, and she says her name and her friend. So it's.
Once this
Her
one
name,
travels,
her
you want
name.
this one.
Yeah, so here, I'll show you. This stupid thing. Just give that. Here we go. So this.
You'd be better off just to show a presentation.
This gives them all more reason to watch what they say.
I'd say so.
Well, we try to do the best they can. Yeah.
These are.
We did it.
Is there?
Kids
Oh,
did it.
okay.
Is there?
And also it could be,
Who isn't completely
She's
to
also
say efficient.
Mhm.
You know, I shouldn't say efficient, but you know.
Yeah.
If this
Oh,
becomes
you
a
guys
business
can-
business.
Yes, but he didn't know that, that
It says
the
that.
video.
I don't want to.
He said attachments.
Okay.
And it's already there.
We are the only one.
That's why I showed it to Drew.
Okay.
He's like, oh, there is. Really? But yeah, and it's pretty clear. So. It's somebody.
Somebody's house.
I told you.
It's just like,
Assume that they.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're not,
She's something.
well, they're not allowed to do that anyways.
That's what I knew that.
I had to assume.
Yeah, so we were just redoing
I guess operate on state.
You know what?
because they're moving,
We
like.
even called her. She said, when we told her the situation, you know, what to say. At the time, we didn't know that we had video, so we said we had no video evidence, and
Yeah.
she said that she
There were issues. They weren't. We never had proof.
But we have proof, and we
Yeah.
have proof she lied to us.
Sort of, kind of.
That's your call as coach, at coaching staff.
I said,
Yeah. I mean, but she's definitely suspended. If she's not getting paid.
Yeah, and it should be, to do that, it should be pretty lengthy, I would say, but that's up to you guys.
They're representing the school.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm sure just like any other business, technical conversation you can have, maybe not the nicest conversations that walk through.
Yeah.
That's just.
yeah, and we're, yeah.
Yeah, right, well, we've moved girls in
These are her
the
feet.
past for like,
So she doesn't say she went to elementary or middle.
social things like that, actually, like, they come to a big CPA school program. We were getting people from multiple, like, we had proof that a girl had posted,
That's
like,
her.
she was suspended for so many games, and then she did it again, and we removed her immediately, like, she was
So
benched
somebody does.
3 games.
Why is
Yeah,
that?
I mean, she sat that one page for that post. I mean, that's the key thing, if I remove them.
Yeah.
That's. She's 12.
They know their computer.
Yep. Right. Full uniform.
Yeah, that,
And
that's
they do
where.
that, it just, I mean, it's just so.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I can go get my rules and we can read them
She
real quick if
is
you want to
not-
go meet. Go. Yeah. No, I appreciate
Please,
it.
I do not.
Because I just know, like,
Like I have to say,
full, like,
Every situation is so very good.
Tuck around, go
Look at that. Look at you.
Oh, that's, I'm not surprised. I mean,
That's.
well, she probably started figuring out. But that was 5 years ago. Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
54,000 for all 3 schools.
6 and okay, so, okay, but think about it. Jim, it's 6 in-person students. presentations 1 hour, which is 6. So she's doing 6 presentations for 30 minutes. Right. And it's 12 minutes. So you're basically saying it's 2.
Back when they would do that would get contentious.
So no, she did multiple. She did 1 hour. Yeah. She did 1 here and 1 over there. She did 2. She only did 2. Yeah, she did the other. She only did.
And they paid for it.
But is that
Give me your time.
So, and then here you got 3 in person. 1 hour each. Okay? And it's 6. So she's still learning to do the kids. So what that would have cost us? It would have been 2 from here and 2 from there. But my point is, what she's doing. She's getting you for at least 6. She's gonna make at least 6 grand, because that's her low.
You can't get your clearances.
Big
The issue is sometimes
6.
I mean, I know clearances can get pushed through.
Unless you're doing a huge. So that's what I'm saying, we say, why do we split up it 6? So then, if you break it down per diem, you know, per presentation, you would be 2 grand. So I mean, I see, but when you said 6 grand, it all breaks down, just doing your job.
either way, it's
And here's the way I, so it would be 4. Right.
yeah.
Or,
I would have did 2 presentations.
she's like, no, here's the way
It doesn't mean that you
Yeah.
meet this guy.
Yeah.
And I know that she got their system, she was gonna try and that parent patch.
But I don't think she did, I think she agreed with that.
No.
And so, this is where,
Holding tanks.
okay,
So
so
then there doesn't have to be
this is
face-to-face contact.
when you go through something.
They get checked, because shorters, police officers.
After what she went through.
You know what I mean?
We're saying that safety because we know how much it was. But if we didn't know, trying to paint this new her story and knew that she was local, would we say that that's unreasonable?
Here's my response to that.
I get it. I get where
The top of the three.
I think she probably started along those lines because you have to build up some type of audience. What is she called? I might have been great. Terrible bio. I'll let the bosses see. Listen. I honestly, I can't remember. I think the game is my blood. But regardless.
Not the ways that come next spring. Are we paying for that?
Yep. Paid for it last time.
Did we pay for it?
Foundation paid for it. They wrote a check on there. They cut a check.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
And I said to you, do not worry about getting outside funding for that. I would rather get the outside funding for something else all day long.
I talked to John the other day, Friday.
Yeah, I just mean like, if you want to think, if you guys put your heads together on something else that you want to come up with, that you can use that foundation money for, the foundation right here. I mean, use it for that. And I said, remember I told you last year, I said, Jimmy, I'm done with this, trying to figure out where we're going to get money to pay off for it. It's a good presentation, and I want to bring them in, every year, and I will pay for it. So,
I talked to John about the presentation.
Yeah, maybe they say we covered it this year, we'll cover it.
but they pay for it.
Yeah, it's half the people on the
Long.
You got
So they're
It's worth it.
That's it. I'm always doing 18.
Schedule that.
We'll be sitting laughing and she's like.
At the last minute, they said, we're gonna take care of it. And then the next year, you were like, I think I'll take care of it. Awesome. And then we were kind of waiting. Time when we kind of pushed back.
tight schedule. Not hurry, but we've never had that issue. I'll reach out to them. Let's throw that shit back to them.
As long as John's the president, we have no issue.
2007.
He's supposed to send me a big presentation.
Restored or?
The help from the health fund that they did, slideshow.
I said, you wait for what?
But he finally finished. But I told him, he goes, remind me, try to remind him. He still didn't send it to me. I just said. Oh, yeah. Did you sign up for that one?
A little better. Aaron's actually passing through one of them. They even taken, how old are you gonna do this? Not too many.
Yes, so you're better.
It's probably an actual spreadsheet.
I just signed up for his medicine.
But it's me, it's not good to take one degree around. Just then, as soon as I did as well, so I didn't have this reaction, and
We still take
so, I'll leave it using it.
Oh, that's
Nashville, yes, but I don't.
Right. Then I'm sure the past, but we do times, because it was already just sitting out all day long.
so
District should have.
The district paid everybody's, even though we weren't good,
Yeah,
the district paid everybody's.
I went down because
And got everything on one.
I was gonna pay.
Right.
And
Yeah,
he was go check me
And that's something that's gonna go, I'm not sure.
and what she pulled up in it, everyone
One
had
thing
one.
has been said the past few days. And this is, of course, honest person.
Did before we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they,
I was gonna go get him a,
so the United States Secret Service just moved that.
I just had him yet, because
I signed
I
up for
was
that.
gonna be in all week, just sign up. I mean, he's still working.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I'm
a,
trying to stay away
it's
from everybody.
a webinar.
Yep. Doesn't want
A lot of times you will get those, you will get a certificate.
I signed up for it.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
They're gonna give me a link.
I didn't start feeling this way until.
I mean, I'm not saying to do that, I'm, listen guys, we all get, we all get 30 plus years.
All this does.
I'm not trying to like tell you how I started.
Jenny bring it to me.
September,
I just need to fucking go.
She's ready. She needs it too.
September
Oh, that's good. At least she's
19th.
Yeah, it's definitely coming up, but it's in the average, it's like 1 month.
from an elevator.
Really, guys, they work on all the professional organizations.
Oh,
September 19th.
no, she's 86. And everything is,
I know, yeah.
and it's a touch screen. Type of computer.
Yeah.
It's just the technology. She can't.
No, it's part of this one.
Service.
All the steps she has to do and what needs to go where, and so she's having a hard time remembering how everything works.
No, I seriously.
You might not have got it because you might not have. Oh, here.
Yeah.
And then she just gets so stressed out.
Yes.
Something's wrong.
Yeah,
I believe it.
so.
All right.
She's up there.
You can't, I think
You gotta do it.
you just
Basically, there's a cut one of those.
You can't. So type 2 is usually adult onset.
Yeah.
And it's usually because of diet and weight.
You could just sign up for
Things like that. So usually type 2 is for it. Or all.
It gives you a link.
Usually.
We got a big order. Says we get out here 3 months now.
Start eating earlier, usually start exercising.
They said on the surface, they said when you start thinking about earlier, my mom said, you know what a converted. And that's just people from the Kensington.
I'm just,
So when you say, I'm just saying, it's because that means like, I really don't have anything.
And she was A1C, I think it's. That's your credit card.
Yeah, get this.
Go see Kathleen Meyer.
Yeah, get the school.
She does argue. I'm not 100%. I just know that whatever she says is really high, she feels like crap.
He signed this, they did.
I think it was 4 years ago. He had cousins.
We
We never got, my dad signed up 2 years ago when we were going out police. And they came in.
Yeah, he's overworked.
We had all the family. Probably 25 people. She was getting feed.
Fragile, I mean, fragile.
Oh, I'm well aware of that.
He is.
Trust me, I'm well aware of your
Figure
fragile.
out what it was.
Really good.
And then she started to get real bad.
Hey, look here.
So they
Look here.
took her to the hospital last year. And she felt all, embarrassed about how, she was letting everybody down.
Yeah, please make sure you.
And they put her in the hospital, and we made time expecting a visit, to the ER, and they would figure it out. And she would be back a few hours later. She ended up staying for 3 days because they were having trouble figuring out what it was. Jason finally realized, oh.
Well, she's doing your job.
Right, so, and I'm gonna tell you this, Jason, they were giving her, giving coke, he's not, can't do this over there. Yeah. And then they finally just tested it. Just give her something.
I get it.
Dude, they figured it out. This one here has done, I've seen things, but ups and downs. Years, feeding the families. Not one, you wanna go out and eat, acts, enjoy a little bit of a swag with this. I get it. We know. You've seen it.
I told you that.
I know, and I knew what was coming, I knew it. Trying. It just seems like every time I try,
Jimmy, listen to me.
I've worked that.
Listen, just want to just keep this in mind. Yeah.
Keep this in mind.
With you, it's funny, but it's not. I mean, it's.
First thing I said in the show, should be doing, you said you share. But I said the other day,
Did you take him about that?
Yeah. My grandfather was like that the last 3 years. My grandfather always, he did everything for grandma, and then when she passed, he was busy. He would always say, oh, I'm used to it. He was just from Mason. He always went, but he wouldn't go, and he would say, I don't care what taste to make my grandma feel better. She didn't care. And then once she passed, we started inviting him to go to Longhorn or wherever else, and he would get a nice big steak. My grandfather was in that too, he was 100 pounds soaking wet. He would shout out on that steak, he would love it.
Easy to say. Easy to say.
So my mom would always make him bacon wrapped with sweet fries. And he went, I can't say. It was good. No, I mean, you know what I mean. You know, it was just the way you said it. It's good. Whatever's on the inside of that bacon, I'll just look at it.
This is where you think
There should be a pop-up that comes up. It might not show up unless you go all the way to your desktop, but there should be something that shows up. It'll be like, I'm sorry to see a restart notification. Similar to that, where it doesn't really
what's going on now.
but once you close stuff out, you'll finally see it. I think it won't give you any trouble until you fill that out.
Why do we have
So
three
probably
of you
just
here
be your
tonight?
whole
Because you're
password.
the house.
until.
After we walk out.
I poke them every day.
Yeah.
I know, it was,
They didn't search.
I know,
I was very upset.
that's all the time.
Okay.
So,
I just get it,
It'll be done by 7.
he goes,
but that should be done. I'll be there when he does. I just wasn't like those.
Turning off.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I was like this.
Hello.
Yes.
Everyone knows everything about it. I'm like everybody.
That's the first time, yeah.
I gotta say,
People behind these.
Me in the kitchen is good. One person is there. She was very excited.
I actually, downtown at the conference, it's here for this, and I have to go back. I was just saying that, all of the sessions, a lot of them was interactive.
Because I'm totally fine and then I get up and then I'm like, I leave like here.
They're all
I listen, I started right, it's just to get
an
this.
hour and a half, is like,
well, you know what you're gonna say.
Yes. How are you?
oh, hi, how
Hi.
are you?
I wrote a little speech, so.
Okay.
And then I saw all the cars here and I'm like, why are there so many people here? They said they're just with me.
Yeah, I was wondering too, I'm like, wow, you're walking
Yeah.
today.
I was like, oh God, is this school board meeting gonna be bad? I'm always like, I cook hamburgers, I don't present. So. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, they don't tell me how much money you raise. I'm like, I'm writing all this stuff.
I know, I told her, I said, she, Mrs. Greenlaw asked me about the whole backstory, so she gave her a little bit.
So how'd you make that?
Well, I'm at a conference, but I'm downtown, so it finished early.
Oh, good.
So I do have to stay overnight there, but it finished early today, so I came here quick and then I can have to go back right after. I just kind of
Here's the
walked the dinner.
There's a balance there too.
Here's the
But here's the
I
time.
just heard mine.
You have a hotel by yourself.
Yes.
That's my number one concern.
Yeah,
Like,
I know,
is
it's
he gonna
crazy
go that
that
way, or is he gonna run through that
it's
way?
local, it's local to stay there, but I guess they just want to manage the traffic really.
He has collateral.
So
He
I was
does.
there
It's just a talk.
at a different conference last week, so I was there for 3
Oh,
days.
he loves him. She
Oh,
loves him.
Back for-
She loves him. The teachers love him. The janitors love him. Amazing.
Yeah, so I'll be back, I'll be back tomorrow, but.
So here's.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hang out over here so I can.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
So I can try this.
So the right to such a good job, I'm going to go to Pittsburgh.
What's that?
I'm going to go to Pittsburgh. My son say it's.
No.
Oh,
I just can't. I'm going to the big boys going. JC's going. And walk way through the I work as a I know. And you're gonna be running out the building, chasing them down through the parking lot.
I was going to leave, I said, I'm not. So Mike was crazy about that stuff.
And here's the thing, listen,
I'm not in college.
How are you? Hi. I'm Jess. How are you? Hi.
That's right.
So he's gonna leave. Yeah, it's coming back.
That's me.
Yeah, I don't think he'll push it. I don't think he'll push it. The situation you're dealing with, and it's the beginning of the year, I know.
That's what I was like, I
I think he
think.
knows. For what I'm calling. I know.
Yeah, I agree.
I said,
There's nothing I can do.
it's the best.
There's not.
Hi, how are you? Good.
The records for the sports team just said can't be either West or very Josh or kind of into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So she's on her schedule
Not boring. And so she'll have a report, Dr. will also have his report, the business owner report. So there's a possibility that they might
Yeah.
mention some things.
I got this. I'm gonna deal with it.
Blah, blah, blah. But yeah. Yeah, you can read it off your computer or whatever you do, yeah, no problem. Well, thanks for coming tonight.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, yeah, he's good.
Who's on fire?
Well, my son called me, and said, can I go to the sheets on my electric scooter? I said, absolutely not. You see those kids like flying around with their electric scooters?
Did you see the news the other day that one lady got killed?
Jess, you're starting to sound.
Where?
Starting to sound.
It's getting dark early. I was like, stay home. He said, well, can you cook me food? I said, I'm at work.
I bought two of those. We bought two of those when we were in Merle.
No, nobody's the yeah.
Clear.
Wait, what happened? Somebody got hit on one?
He was thinking something.
That's pretty good, actually.
Somebody got killed.
They just fly down the street like they.
Look at this.
Huh?
You did that?
Oh, Cheswick, okay. I knew it was a
Pinky is in this.
Yeah, like Allegheny Valley School District.
Pinky.
Please just ignore that.
Yeah, yeah, it was just, that's a little.
Good.
I just, you can see in this picture that.
Hey, just that's not as trigger.
No, yeah,
It's not. Yeah,
yeah, do that, 'cause that's.
So. Oh.
Yeah, it's like next week.
Yeah, it's pretty dynamic.
The area is almost fit. Yeah, Saturday or something. Yeah.
No, I know. I know who there's a few. There's board members that are like, you know, I'm like, you're gonna vote on this. And I'm not criticizing.
Yeah.
What about next Saturday?
Oh,
I'll take anything. I like to read my initial.
Probably not.
see what it is?
No, she was asking.
What happened?
So this, I forget what city it was, they have these electrical scooters. They're looking for the lady, it might be, this is Pittsburgh.
Is it one of those that rents them?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's flying down the sidewalk. So security took her. old couple's going out of the restaurant, she nails the guy. He,
Oh.
it's his own her back. And they took off. It was her and it looked like her husband. Like, in their 30s.
How did you just stop? It was an accident.
Because
Drinking and what's
they're looking for
If they're gonna find it.
Sure.
someone to track.
They should absolutely have every single one. They know every single person that was running one of those at the time that the incident happened, because it's all computer. Yeah. So they'll start there. And then they'll figure
That was
out.
what I thought last night.
I mean, why would you not just turn yourself in? Okay, so say you were driving and screwed up.
Just a lot of sheet normal.
But wouldn't it be better not to, like,
Because-
come turn yourself in?
You know, the cover-up's always first in the line. And so if you would just cover yourself in, say, or you should just stay there. Then you should cover yourself in. I wish.
Also, it's not trees or this.
So I think between the two.
But there's the other side of that.
Yeah, this is,
I turned my son.
but everything else on here, just for your own education.
I think that's the whole. Yeah. If you go on.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would happen if you were drunk and hit them with donuts? Would she go for like walking on the side and whatever?
Listen, you
Okay.
It just means you caused someone to die.
While she's operating.
No, and they call it beef. That's have gone different. Sometimes people they just get charged. It's so. I skipped a curve, almost face planted. And then I decided I should look this up. Actually, it doesn't. It certainly does. And then I found out, like, you realize, like,
Read the lawyer.
anything really, it's got
Your friend's here today.
What? I wonder what the problem is today.
Gotta be something.
I can't log in. I don't know what's going on.
They shut you
Hey
off.
Jen, is there somebody here from tech support? I was just on the agendas and I went to like click out and open the new ones. I can't, I'm online. It's the weirdest thing ever. And I'm on Wi-Fi.
It's chilly in there.
It's cold. I was hot. I was like moving office stuff around all day
It's that time
today.
of the year when you don't
And
know
I was
exactly
like,
how to
I'm
dress.
so hot, I'm dying.
Like, it's colder in the morning, colder in the evening, the middle of the day. It's
Oh, wait, Michelle, this is Anthony. Hi, all I had to do was ask for you.
What's going on?
I don't know, it wouldn't let me, but all I had to do was ask for you, I suppose. Because now it's letting me in. Like in there, I just lost connection. Yeah, I don't know. Then I was just trying to get it on, it wasn't going. So I'm like, all right, I'll shut the Wi-Fi off, put it back on the cell trees. I think truly, my laptop is like crapping in bed, so goodness for that.
You're in now.
Until it stops working, I'm gonna keep going with it. Just keep clouding everything. And hoping the password keeper thing stays.
Oh, man.
Let's get my notebook.
You know what?
Should be rather quick. You have to say that.
They told my son-in-law.
Right?
What?
I said they should be rather quick, but I shouldn't say that. Posting up in the corner there. I noticed we beefed up to 3. Used to be 1.
Well, you know what? We'll say this. Not very much.
Again, like,
But I work in West Canada. I think these are all gonna go through, but for the Forbes report, what do you think I should mention for that? We have a new instructor. Yeah. No.
yeah.
I think that's the one shot up.
Yeah. And again, I think regardless of somebody's bones, like, why do people do stuff like that? Beyond my,
It's
just like,
so it's like a bunch of kids that are like, make a big difference in whatever the party is. Like,
yeah, except it doesn't matter what you're,
right.
just like it don't matter who, it doesn't matter who the president is. Somebody trying to kill somebody is just not the way to solve problems.
Right.
Even though one time or another, we lost 56 years of life, I'm probably sure I think somebody shouldn't be around anymore.
I got somebody right now.
But you don't act on it, you know, like you just don't.
Oh, what?
Again, it's mental stuff that goes unnoticed, because it just flies under the radar. People can appear to be like no problem at all, but you don't know what's going on.
I agree. Oh, we have a student thing, right? They did the, That's right, it's just the agenda. Discussion, oh, it's discussion meeting, that's why I'm like, wait a minute, now what? My thing jumped around so much. Like, wait, we have, I'm like, yeah, we have student teachers and community teachers, food services. That bake sale is so cool. That bake sale is so cool.
Everybody good? All right, I'd like to call to order the action meeting for Tuesday, September 24th, 2024. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Ms. Macro.
Mr. Adams.
Here.
Dr. Anderson.
Here.
Ms. Arendt.
Here.
Ms. Chudowitz.
Here.
Mr. Caligiuri.
Here.
Dr. Richardson.
Here.
Mr. Sokolsky.
Here.
Mrs. Stepnick.
Here.
Mr. Strapke.
Here.
And Student Representative Mr. Drew Thacker.
Here.
The board met in executive session on September 24th, 2024 to discuss matters of litigation, safety, personnel, and real estate. Recommend approval of the following minutes as listed below.
I'll make the motion.
Thanks.
Second.
You guys all.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. Recognitions, Ms. Macro.
Yes, I'd like to have Mrs. Jessica Griggle step to the podium from our Food Services Department.
Good evening. So tonight I would like to recognize Pina Dabra for her outstanding accomplishment of fundraising. Pina has hosted a bake sale for the past 9 years and has raised $41,249. Additionally, No Kid Hungry has matched a portion of her efforts by donating $7,218. Pina is a 9th grade student at the high school, and this is her 4th year of donating funds to our food service department. This year's donation is $2,000, and to date, Pina has donated $6,150. Her efforts have helped numerous families and students of our district and community who may be experiencing food insecurities. I would like to personally thank you on behalf of the district for all of your amazing contributions.
I want to thank everyone who volunteers, bakes, and donates to our bake sale every year. We couldn't do this without the help of this community. Thank you for the recognition.
Thank you, Pina.
Over to the backdrop here so we can get a nice official picture and tackle parents.
That's great.
As soon as Ms. Macro is done with the picture, we'll move on to citizens' comments. You're free to go. Thank you, Pina. Congratulations.
If there's anybody in the audience that would like to make a comment at this time, we ask that you step to the podium, state your name and your residency in Plum, and they will be provided 3 minutes to speak to the board. Just a reminder that this is a time to offer suggestions, concerns, ideas to the board rather than a question and answer session with the board. I will put the time clock on the monitor so you can also be aware of your own timing, and I will provide you a 30-second warning. Whenever you're finished, just please step to the clipboard at the end of the table and write your name in there so that I spell it correctly in the minutes. Is there anybody that would like to speak at this time?
Hello, I'm Katie Trevino. I'm sorry, what else did you ask me?
Your residency within Plum, please.
I live in Regency Park. So my daughter is a student here. Recently it was brought to my attention that there is a new rule for the cheer squad that states that if they make 3 mistakes in practice, that they are benched for the first quarter of the next game. I guess first off, this was not in the handbook, and this was never told to the parents. I did not ever hear about this rule until my daughter came up to me and said, I'm benched because this is what happened. Furthermore, I honestly don't even take concern with the fact that my daughter was benched at this point, but more of why she was benched. I guess I'm pretty concerned about this rule. I don't really understand where the children are supposed to learn and grow if it's not in practice. She only has 2 hours of practice a week. So to be penalized, to actually be sat out at a game for this, I just don't understand it. I did go to the head coach and the athletic director asking, if you could just please explain to me, what are we trying to establish here? And I was ignored, to be honest. I have spoke to the principal, and it was his suggestion that I come in front of all of you. So I'm just asking to be reviewed. I was told that the coaches have any discretion to add any rules that they want at any time. I also don't fully agree with that, but if that is a policy, okay. But I would like this specific rule to be reevaluated because, again, I don't understand why we're penalizing children for learning and growing and making mistakes in a setting where they should be able to make mistakes. I think it's also promoting perfectionism, and that's just unreal. Nobody's perfect. You know, if this was on the sidelines, I feel like we'd be having a whole different conversation, but it wasn't. So I would just like that to be, you know, thought about and hopefully just eliminated. In all reality, my daughter is going to graduate this year, so this isn't honestly a problem for me. It's a problem for every girl to come. So thank you for listening to me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Gill.
Could you just write your name on the clipboard so I spell it correctly?
Absolutely. Sorry, I didn't.
I'm playing patty ball in middle school, so there you are.
Would anybody else like to make comments at this time? Okay, Dr. Anderson?
Thank you. We'll move on to our president's and superintendent's report. From our agenda this evening, it may look like times are quiet in the district, and in some measure they are. The work that has been done by administration, teachers, staff, and students is certainly in full swing. We have hit the ground running. Lots of learning is happening across our buildings, and if you show up after school to our middle school or high school campuses, you will see the gamut: JROTC, marching band, tennis, cheerleading, baseball, softball, soccer, and football action and lacrosse. Inside, you'll see our volleyball, wrestling, robotics, theater, basketball, weightlifting, academics, clubs, and activities as well. In-season and out-of-season activities are all taking full advantage of the new school year and renewed energy that fall brings. We've also had great turnouts to our varsity fall sports. High school students were able to enjoy a great night at homecoming a couple of weeks ago, and we are just a little over a month away from the high school play and the middle school musical. From a strategic perspective, the board is moving forward with diligence to plan and execute large renovation projects at Plum Middle School and O-Block Elementary. Tonight, we will pass a resolution that allows for the issuing of a general obligation bond in the amount of $10 million. This will be the first of 3 bonds to get the much-needed renovation projects moving forward. These renovation projects will continue to create parity and equity for all students across the district. It will also set up future boards to explore the option of full-day kindergarten. Without these renovations, this would not be possible long-term. This decision is not one that the board takes lightly. Many months of planning and studies have supported the need for this bond issuance. It is also important to note that the board and administration continues to seek alternative revenue streams to support all efforts within the district that may create an increase in expenditures, and this project is no different. To that end, I'm happy to share that we received $1.9 million from the Public Schools Environmental Repair Grant to use toward renovation efforts at Plum Middle and O-Block. This includes the replacement of windows, doors, HVAC, and roofing repairs. I'd like to say a huge kudos on behalf of the board and thank you to Mr. Preston Hartman, Ms. Shelley Schaefer, Mr. Ryan Manzer, and others in the administration and staff for their behind-the-scene efforts to apply for and successfully receive this grant. This is a huge win for the district. It helps to offset costs associated with the renovation projects and hopefully in the end to continue to save taxpayers money. As Dr. Walsh will share here in a minute, this is just one example of this board and administration working hard to ensure fiscal responsibility for each and every taxpayer dollar that is spent. Dr. Walsh, on to you.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. First, I'd like to just talk about, we had our first meeting for Portrait of a Graduate, which was held September 16th, and the following topics were discussed. The first was the importance of developing a vision that articulates the skills, knowledge, dispositions that our students need to thrive in the 21st century. The process for developing the Portrait of a Graduate documents include stakeholder engagement and data collection. And we're proud of the fact that we had over 80 members of our community, internally and externally, that have stepped up to volunteer. We understand that some members can make the first meeting, the second, the third, but it's still a tremendous response in regards to community participation and having a voice and coming up with a solution. A key takeaway from our first meeting was that society has changed significantly in recent years, and our schools need to adapt to prepare our students for success in a rapidly changing world. So I'm really excited about the next steps in regards to where we're going with Portrait of a Graduate. Ultimately, we will bring a recommendation back to this board, and this will also help us and guide us in our comprehensive planning as we move forward. As Dr. Anderson has mentioned, grants. I had an opportunity to reflect over the last 5-6 months, in regards to what that has meant. And as Dr. Anderson has shared, Mr. Hartman leads but works with our administrative team to look for alternative revenue. First, as you're all aware, was the electric buses for $5 million. Next, as Dr. Anderson shared, the Public Schools Environmental Repair Grant was for $1,909,473. Duquesne Light just rewarded us a grant for the infrastructure and site preparation for the Transportation Department for $255,832.85. Every cent counts. PCCD grant we received for physical security and mental health, $164,343. Developing future special educators, that is helping us to expand our unified track and field program. It supports Best Buddies, and it supports the Future Educators of America Club. We received $18,937. Over the last 5 or 6 months, that is a total of $7,384,585.85. This administration will continue to pursue alternative revenues to offset the cost on this board's strategic initiatives moving forward. And finally, I'd just like to remind everybody that September 30th is our flexible instructional day. It's not lost on us, and I know some of us would like to forget the days of the pandemic and COVID, but many of our students have not experienced online learning. We haven't had many snow days. We haven't had cancellations. It was 4 years ago. We have staff members that have not experienced online learning and what it looks like at Plum and what the expectations are. So this day will allow students and families to engage in both synchronous and asynchronous learning. Beginning at 9 a.m., students will log on to their homeroom or first period course for synchronous learning until 9:30. After that, students will transition to asynchronous learning activities on Google Classroom. The purpose of this flexible instructional day is to ensure that students' Chromebooks are functioning properly and everybody understands the expectations. When we were looking at putting our calendar together, we felt that this was important, and I appreciate the board's support in moving the calendar forward. As you're aware of the numerous threats that have occurred in the North Hills and just recently with school districts around us, we're a moment's notice away from going to a flexible instructional day, or if Snowmageddon hits again. And we want to make sure that our students and our faculty are prepared to move into that space if needed. We also want to ensure that our students that may need hotspots at home, may need technical assistance, that we can work this out prior to any events moving forward. So thank you, Dr. Anderson. That's all I have.
Absolutely. Thank you. Mr. Sakar?
So this might be a little long because I just want to catch up the board and the community members on the past month and all over summer. So over the summer, if you guys haven't seen, some parking spots in the main parking lot were painted by seniors, raising over $1,800 for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. While the idea of phone docs was very opposed at the beginning of school year and going into the school year, I can say it's been received very well by students and teachers alike, with teachers even telling me that focus has increased in the classroom, increasing scores on tests and assignments. School started on the 21st of August, with school sports starting on the 12th of August. And currently, the sport records, I want to highlight a few that Dr. Anderson talked about. Football is 1-4 overall. The boys golf tournament has recently occurred today, where Wes, Lorish, and Tim Pease advanced to the Class 3 Whippeal individual qualifier, and they're 12-3 overall. Girls golf is 4-10 in their first year in the Whippeal, which is an achievement. The boys soccer is currently undefeated with 9-0-2 overall record, with girls soccer being similar in the section at 6-0, and the girls volleyball team is at 4-3. So if any of you guys can or have the chance to go to a game, please do, because they very much appreciate it. Looking to the future, while you guys may think that the FID day is very preparatory, students are very excited about getting a break off and have even spent They've even planned a senior skip day on the day after that, so it might decrease a little. Yeah. High school students are also looking forward to a new dance called a winter semi-formal, as rumors are starting to spread about this. So overall, the school spirit is high, athletes, students, and any people are happy, and the community is happy with how it's going.
Thanks, Drew. All right, academic achievement and activities, myself, lead board liaison. On my report for the evening, I had to discuss the portrait of a graduate, but Dr. Walsh did that for us, so I'm excited for that. Letter A, recommend approval to accept and resolve the following 1 to 3 as listed. On behalf of the board, I'll make that recommendation.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? And I think just to note for the public, one of the grants that, or donations, I'm sorry, that we passed was from the We Are All Mustangs Here Foundation. Over this past year, donations exceeding, I'm sure, $146,673.75. And we're just forever grateful for those donations in support of our Mustangs here. I don't have anything else. We'll move on to community engagement, inclusion, and outreach. Dr. Richardson, lead board liaison. Do you have a report for this evening? Okay, wonderful. We'll move on to finance. Mr. Stropke, lead board liaison.
I'll make the recommendation to accept and approve items 1 and 2. Is there a motion to accept?
Is there a second?
Or second?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Any abstentions? Are you opposing both?
No, I'm opposing the resolution to borrow $10 million without an actual defined project presented to the community, and I will continue to do that until there's defined projects and the community knows what they're getting and what they're paying for and what they'll see for construction.
Okay.
I've seen this movie too many times.
Ms. Macro, so that's 12A2. Mr. Stropke, do you have a report for this evening?
Well, between Dr. Anderson and
we took it.
And Dr. Walsh, they stole my report tonight. But just to reiterate, just one common theme is, the great work by the facilities director and Mr. Hartman on, his work and Mr. Manzer's work and the rest of the administration on going out to get alternative funding. I mean, $1.9 million is probably equivalent to the latest tax increase that we just did. So, I mean, so when we get into these projects, we're either going to be able to save 1.9 or it's going to give us the ability to put 1.9 back in addition into some of these facilities. And from my understanding, they're working on, they're always working on a project, but there's more to come, hopefully, that deals with some other big projects. So, I mean, all that, again, is offsets what we have to go back to the community with next budget cycle. So, it's a great job by everybody.
Absolutely. Thank you. Forbes Road CTC, Ms. Arendt, lead board liaison. Do you have a report for this evening?
Yes, I do. First, I wanted to mention that we had a very successful open house at Forbes. The kids are thrilled. Enrollment is at an all-time high, so we're doing well. I'd also like to thank the Plum Mustang Foundation for a generous donation to support students enrolled in the cosmetology program. And I also have some great news about staffing at Forbes. We've been searching for a new electrical instructor, and I'm excited to announce that Mr. Robert Lobham is coming on board, and we wish to welcome him to the Forbes family.
Awesome, thank you. Next up, intergovernmental, Mr. Stropke and Mr. Caligiuri, co-lead board liaisons. Do either of you have a report for this evening?
I do not.
Mr. Caligiuri, do you have anything?
I do not.
Okay. Next up, legislative, Mrs. Stepnick, lead board liaison.
I recommend do we approve the PSB leadership officers candidates. There's one for every spot, so there's no.
That's my fault. I should have read that for you.
I don't care.
Do we have a second to that?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Do you have a report for this evening, Ms. Stephanie?
No, I think Dr. Richardson and Dr. Walsh and I will probably take up a lot of time next month, so stay tuned.
Absolutely. All right, moving on to operations, Mr. Adams, lead board liaison. Let me read this for you since I'm dropping the ball tonight. Recommend approval to accept and resolve the REI engineers' proposals to conduct infrared surveys, cores, and visual assessments of the Plum Middle School and O Block Elementary School roofs at a cost to the district of $21,975 as part of the HDG design phase that was board approved on June 18th, 2024.
I will make that recommendation.
No second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Do you have a report for this
Just
evening?
a quick point. To continuously improve and gain valuable feedback, we'll be extending invitations throughout the school year to the Plum Borough Police Department, the Plum EMS, and the local fire departments to solicit their participation in our emergency response drills. We are grateful for the strong relationships that have been established with our local first responders, and we want to continue to collaborate with them to enhance our practices. And just, having a front row seat, just seeing that relationship build between the district and the borough, it's impressive, and just encouraged to kind of keep it going. So
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Next up, personnel, Mr. Caligiuri, lead board liaison. Recommend approval to accept and resolve the following 1 to 6 as listed.
On behalf of the board, I'll make that recommendation.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Mr. Caligiuri, do you have a report for this evening?
I don't have a formal report, but just a reminder for the community that we have some open positions throughout the district, and we look forward to people going online and submitting their applications and joining our magnificent team.
Thank you. Next up, policy, Ms. Aaron's lead board liaison. Letter A, recommend approval to adopt and resolve adopt and revise the policies 1 to 15 as listed below. I gotta wrap it up.
On behalf of the board, I'll make that recommendation.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Do you have a report for this evening?
I do not.
Okay, thank you. Next up, Student Services, Mrs. Stepnick, lead board liaison. I'm going to get you this time. Recommend approval to accept and resolve the annual renewal of the Southwood Children's Behavioral Hospital Services Agreement for the 24-25 school year.
On behalf of the board, I'll make the recommendation.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Letter B, recommend approval to accept and resolve the settlement agreements for students A through E.
On behalf of the board, I'll make that recommendation.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Do you have a report for this evening?
No, I think it's just a good, it was highlighted in our Friday executive summary, but the cybersecurity announcement that came from the White House, and Dr. Walsh was there, and I got a very nice presentation about app approvals and a variety of things that the IU is offering for services to a school district last night, and they talked a lot about that particular day meeting and that announcement, but also how the IU is going to be offering those services to the school districts free of charge for approved educational apps, safety and security for online services. So more to come on that, and as it's getting developed, I'll be glad to share the packet of information with the board to have access to that.
That'd be wonderful, thank you. All right, and lastly, upcoming public meetings. Letter A, discussion meeting Tuesday, October 8th, 2024 at 7 p.m. in the library. And letter B, action meeting Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024 at 7 p.m. here in the library.
The
Yeah.
8th, are we just going to all be remote? Dr. Walsh, we're coming back from,
Oh, are you gonna be back in time?
I plan on coming back.
okay, all right, I was
I
gonna
drive
leave.
quickly.
I was leaving around like noon, but then I thought, wait a minute, I don't know if you have something else you're doing, so before that, we close off today.
I'll come directly here.
Okay. We'll bring you cupcakes. I owe you one from my last birthday.
That's too funny. All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Second? Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? Good night.
Keep hearing there's gonna be significant changes.
Stole my thunder. Why? I always do the motion to adjourn. Oh, that's my fault.
And I see the project.
I know. I'm not against that opinion.
Listen, when something is flexible and the money is sitting there and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, this just happened, we can fix this. Oh, wait, this just happened, we can fix this. And next thing you know, it's like, correct. When the community sees what you did, then I'll move.